Happy Thanksgiving. That isn't cranberry sauce, DNA Gaming. It's time to talk about Blood Rage from 1987 on this week's Dissect That Film podcast. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dissect That Film podcast, where we dissect the good, the bad, and the ugly of your favorite films and film franchises. I am your host, Brett Parker. Joining me, as always, my wonderful co-host, Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming.
You
almost took her out there. God damn.
Oh, all I see is a hand coming toward my face.
If that shows up in the video of what I was doing in the beginning of this episode, it was silently mimicking head, shoulders, knees, and toes, and eyes and ears and mouth.
I got it.
No.
Yeah. I'm just not saying it while he's going. And nobody drinks banana liqueur. If you do, you're not a real fucking person.
Gross.
I've
Sounds
had banana whiskey
terrible.
before, and it's just
Sounds terrible.
not good.
Today is we're all recovering from our Thanksgiving meals, at least here in the U.S. Yes, I know Thanksgiving is different in other countries, or just doesn't exist. But in the U.S. of A, we are finishing up our Thanksgiving dinners, and now we are going crazy, spending lots of money that we don't have to buy useless bullshit here on Black Friday. And what better movie to talk about on this day than a movie that had a really messy production, really messy distribution, and is just the wildest B movie you'll probably see that takes place on Thanksgiving. And that is
an apartment complex.
And
sorry.
in Florida.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Oh, Florida man shows
We
up.
are talking about 1987's Blood Rage.
Looks like you're gonna get a chance to meet the rest of the family. My psychotic brother just escaped.
I just don't want to spoil things.
Anybody else need more turkey?
No, I'm pretty good, thanks.
I don't like to talk about my brother. It gives me nightmares.
I mean, it is Thanksgiving.
You know, somebody ought to tell him to get inside. Nobody should be out with my brother around.
He looked exactly like Terry, except he had this really wild, crazed look in his eyes.
There's somebody after me and he's chasing me and he's trying to hurt me. You're gonna hurt my kitty. Oh, God.
You're a real sweetheart, you know that? A real sweetheart.
It's not cranberry sauce, Artie. It's not cranberry sauce.
Or, as it was called, Slasher originally, or Nightmare at Shadowwoods, or The Complex. The many names of this movie. The Blood
Just keep
Rage.
going.
Blood Rage was the VHS title when it was distributed on VHS in 1987. Blood Rage was the title, but when it was originally released in theaters, it was called Slasher. And so when you watch it on Amazon right now, or if you have the Arrow Video 3-disc Blu-ray, it comes up with this title card of Slasher. So it's a wild one. But we're going to be calling it Blood Rage because that's kind of how it's talked about now.
So
go ahead.
I was gonna say Arrow did a good job on this transfer, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you notice the banana liqueur that we're talking about that we'll likely talk about again is called Arrow?
To be honest, I was not paying attention to the
I was
brands
like,
on the bottles, but
We were trying to figure out what everything
That's
was.
cool.
While we're
that wasn't what I was really looking at. This movie was made in 1983, and it was put in theaters for a little bit, and then it was taken out, and 4 years later, it was then distributed again under a different name, of course, as we just mentioned. And the rest is history. This movie was, there's not really a lot about this movie to like behind the scenes stuff. It was directed by John Grissmer, who in his entire filmography, I think he has 4 films.
Oh boy.
He has Scalpel in 1977, The Bride in 1973, and this would be his final film in 1987. So technically, he only has 3 films in his filmography.
Okay.
It
That's all
was
you need.
written by Bruce Rubin, who, other than this movie, he wrote a movie called Zapped in 1982. I couldn't tell you what the hell that is. Here, I'll read the
Okay.
description of the Zapped movie. The
Please do.
the poster for this movie is 2 dudes poking through a window and looking up a woman's skirt. So there you go. And the tagline is called "They're getting a little behind in their classwork."
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
It says a high school science nerd gains telekinetic powers after a laboratory accident and uses them for revenge upon bullies. But I guarantee he was doing other things other than trying to get revenge on his bullies. And it starred Scott Baio.
Oh, yep. As soon as they showed his face, I was
Yep.
like, oh, yeah.
And he did the sequel called Zapped Again, which was a direct-to-video sequel or direct-to-TV or whatever it was. And
Don't
then
say.
he wrote Blood Rage, of course. And then he wrote 1 episode of the animated TV show Recess.
Was it oddly adult? And he was like lifting up people's skirts and shit in that one too?
What, Recess?
Sure, I don't know. I'm
You've
just going
never-
by this guy's past work.
You've never heard of the animated show Recess?
No, I know
In the
what it is. I
90s?
just don't. I'm just saying specifically this episode.
Oh, I
he
had
wrote,
I did not
I
look
imagine it's
into
like-
what episode it was.
I imagine it's like an oddly dark episode with like mommy daddy issues and a lot of fucking.
Maybe.
Probably not.
No, they get around. They do certain things. It's like
Yeah.
when Zim murdered everybody and took all their organs in that one episode. It was like a homage to Alien. Humans and their inferior organs.
The music was done by Richard Einhorn, who did. Let's see. I'm trying to look at he did music for The Prowler in 1981,
I need to see that.
Shockwaves in 1977. Yeah, and some other films that people might know that I don't.
Maybe.
It was released March 29th, 1987. 82 minutes was the runtime on the uncensored version, and 82 minutes for the uncut version. Or, censored and uncut. Yeah, question mark? Why are they the same length? It's just because they probably just blurred the violence that was in it instead of actually cutting it. I don't know. It's
odd.
weird. It's
They had to
weird.
cover the boobs.
Look at the
Yeah.
We're gonna do the same shot again, but you need to wear a bra this time.
No, they should have just
Okay.
did what Dead Meat did during their kill count, because they did a kill count on this movie, and for all
Did
the
they?
nudity, they used cranberry sauce cans to cover
There you go.
the nudity and violence.
Perfect.
I endorse this film for its appreciation or at least overuse of cranberry sauce because I, for one, enjoy
The
cranberry
reference,
sauce.
yeah, the line, the infamous line.
It's said multiple times,
And
It's
how
said
does
a
our
lot.
son know that line?
probably from Dead Meat.
Yeah, probably.
That's not where I watched this, by the way. So I can give a shout out to the boys at almost said Dissect That Film. That's us. Movie Dumpster. I went back
Oh,
and
just
I
the-
listened to
just the
their
boys who
episode
Dissect
on it,
That
and that was
Film.
the reason you're like, I was like, hey, for Thanksgiving, why don't we do this movie? You're like, all right.
Yeah.
That's 100% the reason we're watching it. We watched it for this episode.
Yeah.
So thanks, guys.
Yeah, make sure to check out Movie Dumpster. We like to shout them out a lot. I mean, I literally wear their hat almost every episode, so we're kind of giving them
Oh, I don't have my
Sh-
cup
a
down
shout
that
out
has
here.
the sticker
But
on it.
yeah, this movie, I heard about this movie through Dead Meat. Watching that was when I was first discovering Dead Meat, and I was literally binging kill counts, and I was like, I've never heard of this movie. I don't know if I'll ever watch this movie. I'm gonna check it out, the kill count, and it was hilarious. And to be honest, it was an experience too. I actually rewatched the kill count after I watched the movie. That's like 4 years ago, Dead Meat, so it was a little bit different, but it was still fun to rewatch that. Tony at Hack the Movies covered it with Sean from Movie Dumpster, or not Sean, with Joe from Movie Dumpster.
Poor Sean.
Poor Sean.
Left in the dark. just kidding. I don't know.
Yeah, they covered it over on their on the Hack the Movies channel for Thanksgiving last year. So
Well, somebody's got to do it every year.
a lot
I
of
guess.
great content out there for Blood Rage. And
Yeah.
speaking of that, like there's a few comments that we'll read at the end of people who are like, "Yeah, we covered that. we're gonna be covering that. I'm like, I'm glad we're like this movie is getting the love to be honest, it deserves. I don't want to show my hand too early with this movie, but this movie deserves some love.
It'll have cranberry sauce on it.
So let's
I think you did too.
you know what? I don't give a shit. I'll say whatever I want, Angela. Don't care.
Downplay.
Don't care.
Maintain the surprise.
All right. Well, let's talk about Blood Rage. Let's talk about our. Was this your guys' first time watching this?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, me too. So there's really like nothing else we can say, right?
Yeah, I knew it was going to happen because it's funny though that we got it from two different avenues. I've seen a shit ton of Dead Meat too. I'm surprised I did not know they covered this. So I'm gonna have to go watch the episode.
It's a good one. It's a good one. So I love watching some old school ones because of just seeing how much he's evolved over the years.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
Fuck YouTube.
Fuck them. As I was saying, there was a 4-year difference between when it was actually made and when it was actually released. When it comes to the cast, Marianne Cantor, who played Dr. Berman, was Todd's doctor, she was a producer. And the only reason that she actually played the role is because the actress they hired just didn't show up. So she had to fill in, and you know what? She could have fooled me. She was pretty decent for the scenes that she was in.
It's good to know that Hollywood is still like regular jobs where some people just don't show the fuck up. So it's good to know that.
Yeah. It was filmed in Florida. It was filmed on one of the University of, I think it was like Central Florida, maybe. And then there was some scenes filmed in New Jersey, like later on for like post production.
That's a contrast,
right? Well, you got to get that Florida feel, you know.
Just throw palmetto bugs at it. We'll have that feel.
Yeah.
Fucking
it's Florida. Okay, so it was the campus of the University of North Florida because it takes place in Jacksonville. That's where the university is. But the drive-in was filmed in New Jersey.
I had no idea it took place in Florida. Did they mention it in the movie?
Yes, it says Jacksonville, Florida, 1974.
Oh, at the beginning. Okay, yeah. I was enamored with it. And she's like, Angela's, you can point out all the cars. And I'm like, by golly, I will. There was only like a couple. So,
but yeah, there was alternate versions of this movie, of course. There was on TV, it was called Nightmare at Shadow Woods. This was the version that was heavily edited. There was not much gore, and it contained a different pool scene other than the one we see later.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And then
interesting.
In 1987, when it was released on VHS, that was when it got the Blood Rage title. And this is the version that contained the gore. It contained an earlier scene, which I think is the whole thing with the mom visiting Todd in the hospital in the beginning.
Oh, with the pie.
With the weird voiceover.
Yeah, the narration. I was like, is the audio off? And I was like, oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, it was like, what is happening? And it was released on Blu-ray in 2015 from Arrow, which I almost snagged it, and I might still do it now that I really like this movie, even though I did buy it digitally. But we all know how that could go. We have, I still support physical media, everybody, so I will most likely buy this at some point. It is on sale, so I might check it out. So the cast, we have Louise Lasser as Maddie Simmons, she the mom. We have Mark Soper as Todd and Terry Simmons. We have Marianne Cantor as Dr. Berman. We have Julie Gordon as Karen. We have Jane Betson as Julie. I didn't realize her name was Julie. But that's the girl who's trying to get it on with the dude who's trying that banana liqueur. There's
listen to
Bill Cackmus as Maddie's date. Who the hell is Matt? Oh, what? Oh, that must be the guy from the beginning.
Yeah, we're not gonna date women with kids. Blah, 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 blah.
I just want to have sex with you with your kids in the back seat.
Hey, what the fuck, dude? How do you know? Anyway, we'll talk about it in the movie. Keep going.
We have James Farrell as Artie. We have Ed French as Bill, and Bill was the boyfriend who was also the special effects artist. He's the one who did all the gore effects for this movie.
Really?
Yeah, the nerdy boyfriend trying to get it on with a super hot single mom. Was the dude?
Wait, the one? Okay, yeah, the dude that's weird. He was talking about all the liquor and stuff. Okay,
so he has done effects work on such films such as Sleepaway Camp, Creepshow
Okay.
2, Terminator 2,
Oh,
yeah, White Chicks, Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story,
Yeah.
Paul Blart, Mall Cop,
oh my
and
god! Okay.
Terminator Salvation.
Hey, he's got a couple really good ones in there. So kudos
Terminator
to you,
Salvation
sir.
was his last one in 2009. So what's he been up to? I don't know. That's pretty cool though. We have Jerry Lou as Beth. We have Chad Montgomery as Greg. Lisa Randall as Andrea. Doug Weiser as Jackie. I'm trying to remember the names because, as you know, I am terrible at names. But Jackie was the doctor's helper there.
Yeah, the dude smokes weed.
Yeah, Dana Drescher as little girl.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
She's
Go
looking
home,
Smart
lock
one.
your doors.
a smart
Don't
one.
ants-
a kitty.
Brad Leland as driving boy. Rebecca Thorpe as driving girl.
Tell him about Brad Leland.
He was that big rig Bob in the 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
The truck driver at the end of the remake.
Really?
Yes.
That's why. Yep. That's why.
Angela pulled him up. I was like, we got a connection.
Whoa. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Shows that I did not look up the cast at all.
No,
Just
I mean,
happened
you wouldn't
to
think it's
click
like
on
he's
him.
like teen boy at driving. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
it's not an important role. He probably doesn't do anything.
There's
so.
one more person that's on the list, but I'm going to wait until we get to his scene because I want to give him a little special shout out because
Okay.
it's who this is.
Okay.
All right. Are we ready for the plot?
Fuck yes, we
Let's
are.
go. So it's 1974 in Jacksonville, Florida. Good old Florida.
Nobody wants to go there.
And they are going to see a movie at a drive-in called The Town That Cried Murder.
Yeah.
Is it better than The Town That Dreaded Sundown? Probably. This is where we see good old 19-year-old Ted Raimi selling condoms in the bathroom looking like Crazy Ralph from Friday the 13th, part 1 and 2.
I thought it was Ted first. Todd. Wait, no. Hang on. Sam. I
You thought it was
first.
Sam,
I'm sorry.
but it is
But
Ted.
like they look similar, which
Yeah.
is fair. They're
When they were
brothers, two
younger,
brothers.
they look a lot alike. As they got older, they look like brothers, but they don't look as much alike.
Well, I remember them mentioning this. This was one of the Raimis, and I knew it by looking at him too. And I was like, "Oh, I know." And I'd look it up. I was like, "Okay, never mind."
Yeah.
It's not Sam. But it's still cool. It's still cool that we're not playing it down.
So this was his first film. Because, like as we had stated a couple times, this movie was filmed in 1983. So this was before he would go on to do Henrietta and Evil Dead 2. But the crazy thing is this movie and Evil Dead 2 came out in 1987. So that he was in technically 2 movies in 1987. Just one of them wasn't filmed in that time. But that's pretty cool. And I just love the crazy thing was I see Ted Raimi and to be honest, it didn't shock me because he always shows up in these like early to mid 80s horror films, like in just a scene. He would later when Candyman in 1990, or 1993, he just shows up in the beginning of that movie, and then you never see him again.
Okay.
So like he just makes a lot of cameos, and it's great.
Hey man, that's your gig.
It wasn't even the fact that of seeing Ted Raimi. It was the fact that I was like, why does he look like Crazy Ralph?
Oh, yeah,
He's
that's
wearing
fair.
the same outfit. He's got the hat. He's got the vest on with the white shirt, but he's selling condoms in the bathroom, and he's and that's what he is credited as condom salesman.
He reminds me of the merchant from Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
What are you buying? So
Yeah.
opens it, it's just condoms and lubricants and
I would not
Fuzzy
buy
bits.
the one that was attached by the
pin?
safety pin.
I think they refer to that as a breach of contract.
Yes.
Yep.
So
That like for some reason all the people that bought this brand here, their girls got pregnant. It was weird. It was wild stuff. Like I can't even
Sabotage.
figure it out. But the kid chooses Trojan. So you know he was making a
Trojan
wise
guy.
choice.
there's some obvious name or product placement in this, and I don't think it was like
It wasn't
properly
on
paid
purpose.
for.
No, there was a lot of Nike in this movie.
Yes,
A lot of
I
Nike.
said that too.
And not like they
A
were
lot of-
trying to hide it either. It was like, that guy's wearing
no.
Nikes.
I know, and then like
Picks up on the shoes. Like, yes.
DK. And then like the Trojan thing. It was like he specifically says it by name. And listen,
Trojan man.
dude, these people don't work at a fucking movie theater. I'm telling you, no lady is gonna be working there with like spaghetti string top shit, serving up popcorn when she's got like grease blisters all over from running that damn popcorn. That shit ain't happening. This is not a proper movie theater.
This is the horniest drive-in theater I've ever seen. People are just fucking everywhere. This is
hot dickens.
Yeah, it's like
I don't care if it's dark and I'm in a car. I'm not
it's
getting
like, hey,
naked.
you know, we should go and
public.
have sex. And listen, this probably actually happened. I didn't grow up in this time. But the crazy thing is that, yeah, it's like, where do you want to go have sex? And it's like, let's go to a crowded drive-in theater. Like, we're going to be in our car. No one's going to see us, or we just don't care. And it's like, all right, cool. Good for you.
The kids are in sleeping bags.
Oh, my God. But yeah, we meet the mom, Maddie, and she's, trying to get frisky with her boyfriend. But she's very concerned about her boys as they are just sleeping in the back of the car as they're about to get it on.
In the badass wagon.
But she stops.
Panel wagon, too.
Yeah. And I like how the boyfriend's just like, come on, like, we came here. Like, they're fine. They're sleeping. It's fine. Let's do this. And she's like, okay. And then the boys are just like, we're not sleeping. And just leave out the back.
Only in the butt. Like, okay.
And there's just a gun laying on them, too. Did you see the gun that was just there? Just laying on top of the kids?
Yeah, it's a toy AR. It was the 70s, dude. You could have toy guns that look like real guns.
Oh, that was a toy gun? All right. I just thought like the dude just had his rifle just chilling on top of two children.
It looked a little small to be an AR, and like AR, it's not like nowadays where you just like carbines everywhere. I just assumed because it's on the shelf and there's room later.
Oh, right.
It's the same gun as you.
Okay.
Huh? Why are you pointing at me?
I don't know. I just want to point at you. I was including you.
So one of the boys finds a hatchet somewhere on the side of the building or something, and
back of a truck.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he goes over to a car and he sees two people having sex. They're having a good old time. And boy, does this guy he's just like, they are feeding him the line. They're like, just tell him to leave. Because it's not like, hey man, get out of here. He's like, hey, creep, get out of here.
And
get out of here, like, creep.
It's the same dude that bought the condoms at the beginning, right?
I think
this is a different guy.
It was the same guy. It was the same guy.
That boy is perched. He is watching. He isn't going anywhere.
He's licking his lips. He like, yeah. And of course he doesn't
like there, Sonny.
And of course he doesn't like how everything's going. So he just hits that man many times in the face with a hatchet.
It's him in the eye.
Oh yeah, he gets it good.
Real good.
To the point where the girl is like, I don't care about my clothes. I'm running away butt ass naked. And she does.
You could hear her cheeks clapping to this day as she runs.
It's the legend of the Jacksonville Drive-In. Do you hear that?
The cheeks are clapping.
Do you hear that? What is that sound?
Killers on the loose.
That's the legend of the. Yeah. That's the legend of the ghost cheeks.
Yeah.
You could hear them clapping to this day.
Good old Thunder Cheeks Cindy.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna go to bed. All the mental images of that one.
So of course
it's like thunder rolling in. I'll stop.
So the other son is watching this all happen. He just is frozen in fear. He's just in complete shock. So what does the murder brother do? But he wipes blood all over the catatonic brother and then yells for mom. He's like, oh my God, Todd, he killed him. He did this. And of course he doesn't say anything because he is just in shock. And the mom's just like, it's going to be okay, Terry. Todd.
Yeah. Terry's the golden child.
Yep. So it is 10 years later and the mom is visiting Todd at his school, as she would say many times.
Yes, school.
And it is Thanksgiving, and you only know that because the guard at the fence says, "Oh, happy Thanksgiving." She's like, "Happy Thanksgiving," and then she drives in. But she's also bringing Todd a piece of pie.
It was their fucking house. It doesn't even look like a house. Like it doesn't even look like a mental. I wouldn't not assume a mental institute.
Probably the only thing they could afford to use for a.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's a nice house. It's like institution. I was like, okay.
And this is where you get the weird voiceover from the doctor while she's having a conversation with the mom. Like, couldn't you just show us the conversation she's having with the mom instead of having this weird voiceover that, to be honest, I don't care about what she's talking about. I mean, pretty much what she's saying is that she believes that Todd is innocent because Todd has finally told her that he didn't kill anybody, and she kind of believes him. And so it's the whole thing of her trying to explain that to the mom, and the mom is in this entire movie, this woman is just out of her mind.
Is having none of it.
Yeah.
I get what she's doing. It's like her notes after, like, she's recording her notes.
Yeah.
But, like, it should have been one or the other, not both.
Yeah.
Not both, yeah. It should have been
At
like
the same time.
just show
Like,
her
it's
just sitting at her
confusing.
desk writing it or something, or
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
the
very
narrating over
confusing.
it. Yeah,
And then you could have
that's
the
why I thought the
conversation.
audio track was off. I was like, this thing's fucked.
Yeah, it was
Like, I
it was
cannot
odd.
believe this is messed up. And I was like, oh, never mind.
So we then meet Terry, who has been normal for the last 10 years. And we meet his girlfriend, Karen, or I guess we should assume it is because Terry is
seems
weird
like it.
and the people in this movie have just no boundaries at all.
Especially him. He's fucking weird.
Yeah, the crazy thing is he like flirts with the neighbor, the new neighbor
That
when
just
she
moved-
runs
yeah.
by, who just, boy, those things are always at the ready.
No shit. I mean, Turkey is properly done.
Yes.
Like, this shit fits so well here.
He is blatantly flirting with this woman when he first meets her, and of course, like she's like, "Oh, your mom invited us over for Thanksgiving," and he's like,
And she's sitting there like this the
and
whole
he's
time.
like, "Yeah, he's."
Tits.
And she's
tits.
like,
I'm like,
he's
dude,
like,
I get it. but-
"Yay, I'm so excited!" And Karen's like, "I'm not about this. This isn't cool."
Yeah.
We also meet the other friends. I think it was Greg,
Greg.
Artie, and I think Julie might have been there too, which is the girl.
I don't remember.
So Julie is the single mom, the one with
Oh,
the
yeah, with
baby, which I didn't
baby.
know that was her name, to be honest. Until-
Baby.
yeah, and baby.
I'll get you,
Pick
baby.
the damn baby.
Call it my fucking name. Don't just call it baby. Anyway,
If you don't know a baby's name, you just call it baby. Damn it.
Yeah.
come to me, baby. But if it's your baby, you should know. I just found this baby.
Maybe
I'm used to get a rich dad. I don't know. Where'd you find it? In the reeds. I don't know. What the fuck? The fuck? I don't know.
Would you
You just found a baby.
in the reeds?
It's fucking, dude, it's like I just think of like the Florida version of the Prince of Egypt. You just find this baby
It's-
like floating in like a Budweiser, like a cardboard box
the
at a-
swamp.
in the swamp.
Instead of locusts, it's the bugs you were talking about.
Oh, palmetto bugs. Yeah,
Yeah, swamp baby.
swamp boy. Fucking. Oh my god. A trailer trash. Fucking Moses. Anyway, this
Oh,
is terrible.
Lord.
I did not. This is not the way I expected this episode to go, mind you.
What are you talking about? This is exactly how I thought it would go.
It's
Oh,
never had
cool.
this planned from the
So-
beginning.
so it's Thanksgiving, and the mom announces she's getting married, and Terry is not a fan of this. But we meet
Oh,
Brad, and
boy.
Brad's a good guy. You also find out Brad is the building manager for the apartment complex that they live at.
He seems like a cool
He
guy.
seems like a nice guy. I I love though when Maddie gets the phone call and she just closes the little and then
Oh,
she's
you
like,
can hear me.
Terry, I got to tell you something. Terry, your brother, he escaped. And fuck, I don't know if this was just Mark Soper's performance, like what he meant to have as a performance in the line reads. And you know what? I'm not even going to be too hard on it because it's so fucking funny how he delivers every line in this movie. My wife loved this movie, by the way.
God, yes!
She thought it was hilarious. She
Oh,
was
I noticed
laughing so hard at parts. It was great.
Oh yeah.
But she Maddie's like, your brother escaped. And he's like, oh. Well, what do we do? And she's like,
That's when I said, pull your shirt up, lady, because you can see her bra. I'm like,
oh yeah.
ma'am.
Those things are
Stop
so
swapping your tits.
those things are so pushed out like it hurt me, and I don't even wear one.
Put the girls
God
away.
damn.
It's Thanksgiving.
No,
Well,
I
for
said-
one,
no,
she
'cause
was
I said-
dressed like a child. Like she looked. She had like
Yes.
the little ponytails coming down, and just the way she. Yeah,
Yes.
it was weird.
No, he said, what do we do? And I said, don't look at your mom's boobs.
He's like, don't
Oh,
look
that
down,
was
don't look
so
down.
sad.
It's weird.
What do we do? Don't say fuck your mom. Don't say fuck your mom.
The funniest thing though is when she's like, Terry, I'm gonna need you to keep this between us. Do not tell anybody. And as soon as he sits down, he's like, oh, Brad, guess what? You're gonna be meeting more of the family because my brother just escaped the mental institution.
And the mom's just like,
she's
oh, fuck.
I gotta say, Louise Lasser's performance, another just banger in this because she just goes so over the top, but it's so great. Her face though is like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Dude,
listen
Terry is so vindictive, dude. He's just like,
yeah.
So like between his brother breaking out and his mom getting married, and he's just like, no. No.
So they keep calling it school, and I just go, why do they keep calling it that? But then you find out later on why. It's because she didn't want anyone to know that Todd was in a mental institution.
I don't think she wanted to admit that Todd was in a
mental institution. She definitely was living in some sort of fantasy world. She goes through a lot in this movie.
Yeah.
That's an understatement.
We then get a great scene where there's a knock on the door and Terry answers it, and it's excuse me, Jesus. And as soon as he answers it, he gets a gun in the face. He's like, Todd! He's like, I'm not Todd, I'm Terry. And he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And the doctor's like, sorry, my friend Jackie here, he's kind of an idiot.
But I gave him the gun anyway.
Yeah, put the gun away.
It's by the way, two different guns. Because I'm pretty sure when you see this first gun, it looks like a little buck.
Well, it's a trank. It's a trank gun.
Yeah, but it looks like a buckmark, like a little pistol, not buckmark. Who the fuck? Yeah, something like that. And then who makes the other one? Ruger. Or Ruger handgun, like a Ruger Mark III or Mark IV. It's what it looks like. But then when it shows up later, it's just a revolver.
Is that the same gun though?
I don't know.
I think she
stuffs
had
in her purse.
I think the doctor had her own gun.
She could.
I thought the revolver was the. Oh no, never mind. I forgot she had a gun.
There's another revolver.
I was gonna say that revolver was
the revolver that neglects counting. Yes, we know about that one. I'll tell you later.
It was so tiny though. The one
baby.
they picked.
It's like the dude's revolver at the beginning of Friday the 13th Part 6. Like, I'll show this motherfucker. It's like a little 22. Which, admittedly, I'm going to say, I don't want to get shot by a 22 either. I'm like, that ain't going to do nothing to nobody. Yeah, yes, it is. But it's just like, that
ain't going to do nothing to nobody.
22 ain't going to hurt nobody, but nobody wants to get shot by one.
So Brad is like, I'm the building manager. I'll help you look. And he doesn't really help him look. He kind of just brings him. He's like, there's a path that way. There's things over there you can look at. I'm going to go back to my office and sit there.
Be careful on the path. Those damn kids around here keep writing penises on the trees, but that's about all you really have to worry about.
Oh, thanks.
Sure. The lights are a little bad in the gazebos. You might have to jiggle them a little bit, but they'll turn on. Like, okay, dude,
so
sure.
Point you in the direction you need to go, but I ain't going.
Dude never worked retail a day in his life.
No,
exactly.
You have to walk the people over.
Yeah, don't point.
So Brad is just trying to enjoy a beer. He cracks one open. He sits there waiting, and who should show up but fucking Terry? And he chops off his hand with the beer in it. It's great. Fucking awesome effect. I love what the hand is like. Still move. The fingers are still moving.
But the beer.
That's my jack arm. Dude, when you finally get like the full thing of what happens to him, just kiss.
Oh,
dude.
it's so good.
It's so good.
We then see Jackie. He's searching, and he's not trying very hard because he's literally going, Todd, where are you, Todd?
He's done.
Todd, this isn't cool, man. Like Todd, like he's not yelling. There's no way anyone's hearing him but himself. And so he's like, you know what? I think it's time to relax. The doctor told me I need to relax. So he whips out a big old joint, lights that sucker up, and as he's starting to enjoy it, Terry shows up.
He does trip over a cat.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck? I didn't sign up for this shit.
But Terry shows up while he's relaxing and just it stabs him. And then
dude offers the dude a hit.
Well, he does. He hits it. He hits it, and then he kills him.
Just right through.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when because he kills him because Jackie goes, yeah, so they say that Todd might be innocent, and that's when he kills him. He's like, yes, he did. and he gets really
Yeah.
pissed off. Yeah.
Said he didn't kill anybody.
I don't know. I think he was going to do it anyway, but I
Oh,
think that
yeah,
was just more
that was-
motivation for him to do it.
Then we go to the doctor who's looking in the woods, and she's like, "I don't like this." I'm like,
I'm
"Didn't
scared.
they say there was a path? What are you doing? You're just hiking through the woods."
Why did they split up?
Why, yeah, I was saying, why did they just stick together?
I know.
God.
You're looking for somebody who you think or might could be a crazy person, and you split up. Yeah, not a wise
No.
choice. We then see the mom. She's eating on the floor, eating some leftovers. Just
By hand. Just,
she is spread eagle. Just fucking.
Listen,
do you feel like somebody's taking crazy pills?
if I'm stress eating, it's not cold corn and green beans.
Well, this isn't
It's
you,
ice
Angela.
cream.
This is crazy Maddie.
Most women are stress eating ice cream and cake.
Man,
And-
man of mim.
Did they not have pie at this Thanksgiving
Probably.
meal?
I don't know. Maybe they
Eat the
just
whole
told her to
damn
just
pie.
eat whatever, and she just was just shoveling shit out of the fridge.
Maybe that's what she felt like.
This woman wasn't just
Something.
stress eating; she was stress everything.
Yes, yeah.
No shit.
This is when the doctor runs into Terry in the woods, and she gets cut in half.
Dude, she gets it
That went-
horribly. dude.
God damn, this went. Listen,
Like, did he just karate chop her with the knife he was?
he must have had to saw her in half. There's no way you're doing one clean swipe of a machete and chopping a person in half.
He animated, dude. He had like the sheath in it and he just went real fast like that, and she just fell apart. God, you're so good, Terry.
Oh, but it's crazy. Like, and she's still alive, and she's like,
Yeah, dude, it's
Yeah.
good. It's cool. It's a good effect. Like, it looks good. Like, bleh.
"This is where I let my son watch this movie."
With all the titties.
Oh, no.
To be honest, anytime that would pop on, he would just turn his head. He knew. He knew.
He's like, no,
he's
man,
like-
I'm not looking.
the funny part is when you see her body split in half, he's just like, "Well, that's not good."
yes. Yes.
She'll be fine. Just
That
walk
just
it
blew her back
off.
together.
You know.
Oh man! And so
Some
this
Robitussin
is
in that.
so Terry has to take a shower now because he's covered in blood, and this is when we get our first instance of, well, that's not cranberry sauce,
Yep.
as he's licking blood off the machete, and this is when it like bounces back and forth between Todd and Terry because it shows Terry taking a shower, but it shows Todd is showing up at the complex. Oh, this is when Mom is stress cleaning. She's vacuuming
Yes.
and trying to
With the-
shrink the
She
swamp.
is having a lot of trouble. She's trying
Oh.
to drink. She's trying to clean. I seriously thought she was going to dump that whole glass of wine in the floor. Like, that would have caused even more problems.
I was like, don't waste it. God, it looks expensive.
She probably already down. That was probably the last of that bottle.
Oh,
of
she
wine.
had a lot of wine. It was funny because she does a pretty good job at doing the rotary phone while pouring a glass of wine and doesn't spill it. I'm like, God damn, people nowadays can't even use a rotary phone on its own. And this woman is using the rotary phone and pouring a
Because-
perfect glass of wine.
She's had practice.
Very much.
Clearly.
So Terry goes and hangs out with the new neighbor, Andrea. And Andrea is horny. She
Oh,
wants Terry
shit.
so bad. She knows that Karen is with him, and she gives zero fucks. She
Well,
wants
that
to
was
just get
even
into the pants.
earlier. And Terry knew what the fuck was up.
Oh, absolutely.
He just shows up.
He never introduced Karen,
No.
saying, "This is my girlfriend."
Nope.
No, he's like, "Hey, you want to come over?"
So she's babysitting for Julie, who has a little baby. And
Named Baby, ironically.
Name baby. Yep. I love how she's like offering Terry a drink. He's like, well, she's like, I got tomato juice and vodka. And he's like, I'll just have tomato juice because I don't drink. All right.
As we
And-
learned from when they were eating their dinner, the Thanksgiving dinner, everybody else had wine. He
Mm.
had milk.
And of course, Andrea's attire, she takes off her cool jacket or vest or whatever, and she's just wearing a white t-shirt. You can, like I said, woo!
Like an acid dipped white shirt. It's like barely anything.
She knows exactly what she's doing, and Terry wants none of it. He's like, oh, I wonder what's on the tube.
Yep, he's like, "Yeah, it's on the tube," flips it on. Is that one of this dude's movies that's on the TV?
I don't know. I didn't look into
Because
that.
you said he did a movie called like The Bride or something, and that's just what I thought of when I watched this opening thing. Like
Maybe
when
it
like
could-
they're
it could
actually
be.
watching. Anyway,
Yeah, she just wants Terry really bad, and he wants none of it.
give me some of that dick meat.
Terry, Andrea again gets she's getting a little closer to getting into Terry's pants, but who shows up but Julie and her new boyfriend, and they're like, it's like, oh, have you been drinking tonight? And he's like, oh, you shouldn't be giving alcohol to minors. And Terry just goes, yeah, we're not minors. All right, see ya.
Well, even Terry, like, because like Andrea was like, you know, trying to grab a little bit of his like invasive Florida snake. And
Oh, she's
like,
rubbing.
And he's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
like he's like
he wants
kind of like
none of
agitated,
it.
like, "What the? I want to watch
Yeah.
the tube and hang out."
And so they leave, and they run into Greg.
You all
Already-
right, dear? Hold.
I'm good.
What just happened?
I'm good. I'm good. Just what he just said.
Right here.
It's
It's a reference for those of you who have seen Full Metal Jacket. This right here is 100% Alabama black snake. It ain't no motherfucking buku. Anyway, go ahead.
So yeah, they run into Greg, Artie, and Karen. And I think this was after Karen runs into Todd.
Sorry. It was just a comment I made. I said he's talking about Florida snakes, and all I can think of is gator snake. I'm like, fucking hell. My brain.
I'm
today
sorry,
is-
Bart. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we forgot to mention that Karen runs into Todd, thinking it's Terry, and just randomly out in the open goes, Terry, I want you to make love with me. And then he's like, I'm not
Lady, I
Terry.
just got here.
I'm not Terry, and I've never kissed a girl before. And she's like, okay, good luck with that. Bye.
So that was a smart idea. Her just getting the fuck
Yeah.
out.
100%.
Poor Todd. That's just
Yeah, poor Todd.
Poor Todd.
I mean, he's been screwed over since he was 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this is when you get mom is freaking out. Like, she is just all distraught about everything. I think this is when Terry goes to find Todd because he's told about because Karen's like, oh yeah, I ran into him. And so Terry goes to the mom, she's freaking out. And you could tell like she's all about Terry. Like she wants Todd to be saved, but she doesn't want Todd anywhere around them. And so Todd finds his doctor in pieces, and I love when he picks up her legs and tries to put her back together.
Yeah.
I know. He's like
Yeah.
a kid. He's like, I could fix you.
Yeah, and then he takes the very clearly toy gun out of her purse. That thing looks so plastic.
I said that. I was like, looks like a fucking toy gun.
It looks like a
It's
pop
pretty
gun.
Yeah.
Even my son said that. It's like, is that a pop gun? What is that?
big.
It even
Mm.
later. You saying pop gun.
I think it means it may have other connotations, but I want to hear what you talk about later. I know what you're talking
Have
about.
you ever fired a toy pop gun without any of
Oh yeah, all the
the-
time. That's how you played with them.
So later in the movie, do you hear the noise that it makes when
Yeah, we'll talk. Yeah, I know what you're
Oh,
talking
Later.
okay, yeah, I think
Okay,
I
I
know
was
what you're talking about.
I was like, I know I've heard that noise before. Yeah. Just
So he runs into a little girl in the woods who's looking for her cat, and he's like, "You need to go home. Lock your doors. Don't answer the door for anybody. There's a bad person out tonight." And just like you know, cats usually find their way home, so you'll be all right. She's like, "Okay, bye, thank you."
If it's dark, twisted, and mysterious, then I want to dissect every possible explanation as to why it is. I want to understand the dark psychology of the most dangerous serial killers, from the day they were born to the moment they snapped. I want to examine every cryptic conspiracy, and even delve into the haunted paranormal. Join me, Ashley Lana, as I explore the obscure. This is Lullaby the Fear podcast. Sweet dreams are made of these.
Okay, so who was the guy that came there with the doctor? The annoying
That
guy.
was
What his name?
Jackie.
Jackie, yes. That's the cat he stepped on.
Oh,
That's my theory. I don't know, because if he stepped on it, that would make sense for it to run away.
Right. Yeah.
You know. But that just a thing. It just hit me when we talked about him earlier. I was like, I wonder if
Yeah,
it's
that
the
makes
same
a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So Karen tells the group about her run-in with Todd, and they're just like, "Oh, it's so weird, so gross."
It makes him seem like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't do anything. He just stated the fact. I never kissed a girl.
Well, that's the thing is
Todd.
Terry always told the story,
Terry.
the fact that Todd killed someone, so they think that he's a crazy person,
Yeah.
and so that's just what Terry was telling them. Terry kills Bill. I love it. This is a great fucking kill. Of course, this is the beforehand. You get Bill trying all the different liqueurs, the nasty
little
ones.
bits.
They're fucking
Ugh.
nasty.
Banana, coconut,
And
liqueur,
he,
coconut.
oh man, this poor dude. This is a dude who probably, I mean, I don't want to assume, but he probably was a dude who didn't get the experience of being with a
probably
woman
not.
like that, and he was about to, and he just couldn't keep his head on his shoulders, you know, because he gets,
His head,
yeah,
his head didn't end up where he
Yeah.
wanted to.
he was all ready because she's like, oh, let me go and get into something more comfortable, and then she goes in. This is when you find out she has a baby.
That was crying earlier.
Yeah,
when
she's like,
fucking-
she
When
just
what's her
throws
face
the
was
fucking binky in her mouth.
babysitting.
I didn't know that though. I didn't know that's why she was there. I don't know.
Baby crying the whole damn time and nobody pays attention.
No. But yeah, she just throws the binky in the baby's mouth, and she's like,
No.
"I'm about to get you rich, daddy."
Yeah, and Bill's just hanging.
That's what you said before that even happened, didn't you? She's like a gold digger or some shit. Like,
I said she looks like she's just with him because he's probably rich.
yep,
Yeah.
she said that shit, and then the whole baby.
Just
dead,
the way
like,
he was
rich dad.
dressed.
I think my biggest problem with this movie though is the fact that they do not hide the fact that Terry is the bad one.
No,
They just blatantly, you're like, no, Terry's a killer. Terry's the killer. Todd is innocent. We're just gonna get to see Terry go around and kill people because literally. I mean, I guess in this scene where the doorbell rings and Bill goes to answer, he's like, she's like, oh, go answer it. It's fine. And then he goes, oh, it's that boy you kicked out from before. She's like, well, talk to him. And then he opens the door, and then that's when he gets killed. And then Julie comes out, doesn't see Bill, opens the door to find him, his head just hanging there.
He's just hanging
from an
out on the
electrical
front
cord, like an
porch.
extension cord.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, and then she sees this. The baby's crying, and she goes for a jacket first. You're not just gonna run into your room and grab
I
your
know.
baby. You're like worried about putting a jacket on. Then Terry comes out, all like, "Let me help you with that arm."
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, she's like, I'm coming, baby. And
Yes!
dig it in the closet.
The
Like,
name's
no,
just
run.
baby.
It's okay.
It's
baby.
credited as baby.
It
I
is.
mean,
Yeah. They're just like, well, there's no point. We don't need to name this thing.
Fuck it.
So Todd goes home, and his mom is passed out in the hallway. So he carries her to her bed, and she kind of wakes up and has a conversation with him, thinking he is Terry, and he kind of goes along with it because he doesn't want to freak her out. And this is when you get the
And she
really
likes-
awkward, like, give mommy a kiss, and
Oh.
it goes on a little too long.
like,
I'm like, nope.
Clearly, some weird thing that she's had with her
Oh,
kids.
it
long
gets
before
worse at
all
the
this.
end.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yes.
worse at the end.
that is exactly my theory from the time that she pulled him into the kitchen. I'm like, he has some kind of mom complex, and she has it's Oedipus Rex all over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it's him with his mom and her. I'm like, stop, please. It's weird.
And it sucks for Todd because his mom's like literally shitting on Todd, not realizing she's talking. Like, oh, she just go away, go far, far away. Like, doesn't want to be part of the family. And all Todd, like, that's what Todd wants. He wants a family or to be able to be back home with everybody. And she doesn't. Nobody wants him there.
No.
Poor guy, dude.
I don't feel anybody heard him from the beginning.
No.
They just went with Terry.
Exactly. Well,
They also said that they also said like he hadn't talked for a
since the
while.
event, he had said
It wasn't like recently that he had been talking to his doctor about the fact that he didn't kill anybody.
Yeah.
The crazy thing was the kids in the beginning that played younger Terry and Todd were actual twins, and then Terry and Todd as an adult is played by the same guy. It's just
Which I thought was cool.
Mark
Yeah,
Soper.
that's really cool.
But he plays them both well. Like they
yes,
feel
they're
different.
completely different characters, and I think that's why I like his performance. Even though there are lines that are just really weird, but in my head, I'm just like, I just feel like that was on purpose. Like the way he just reacts to things, because he is the killer, and he doesn't care if people know. So like the way he just like says things, you're just like, that makes a lot of sense for his guy. Where like Todd is very like, like he's very scared of the world because for one, he's been locked up for 10 years.
Well, even his, go ahead.
Well, you pointed it out. I didn't know. And I'm like, he's still, after he pointed it out, I was still like staring because they had his hairstyle different, his whole demeanor,
his posture.
Yeah, he was very like slouched. His hair was greasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did a good job, like doing two different characters. You did a great job.
Yeah. It was really good.
Like just differentiating the two. It just felt, it could have been like two different actors if you weren't paying attention.
Yeah. So before we were talking about the Karen was telling her story, but they were at this. I think they were at Andrea's house, and the two guys were playing video games, and they're having a conversation about the whole thing. And then Karen plays with Artie, and Greg goes and plays with Andrea. But instead of what I thought was actually happening in that bedroom, they were going into. They must have watched like a Tom Savini fucking makeup video, because what?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
They hear a scream. Yeah. Karen and Artie go into the room, and Andrea is laying on the bed. It looks like, I thought she was dead. I thought she was like Terry, because it shows that Terry is spying on them.
Yeah.
And so I thought he had killed them. And because I was like, oh man, her eyes are like all popped out and shit. And then they pop out saying that it was a prank, and her makeup is like fucking good. Like it's pretty creepy looking. I was like, there's no way. But yeah, they get pissed off, and they're like, hey, you want to come to this other party? And like, no, we're gonna go play tennis. I'm like, okay.
Why not?
What time is it? It's dark and you're playing tennis?
Yeah, they have lights. It's fine.
They do have lights, but it's such an odd time to play.
Yeah. And do they
adults,
do they end up having sex? Greg and Andrea?
It's implied.
Because she's like, I gotta take a shower. And Terry sneaks a peek on that.
Even like, I was like, I want to look, but I don't want to touch. Like, I don't want to part of it. I just want to see it.
Because you assume from the music that something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then they're just like,
no, that's not where it's gonna happen.
Okay.
So, oh wait, no, they don't have sex because they do sex later.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. She was just taking a shower.
She was taking a shower because she had the makeup probably on, and shit like that. Yeah, we'll get to that fun place. So this is when you get the many, many times of the mom, Maddie, fucking calling the operator system to try to get a hold of Brad. And she's like, what do you mean you can't get a hold of him? What? It's impossible. I'm like,
what number are you calling?
I was like, for one, isn't he like right down the fucking way? Just like walk down there, which he later does do. But she's also just
in a
out
robe.
Of her mind. She's just out of her mind.
She's lost it. And how long does her hair stay wet?
This forever.
The whole movie.
Yeah.
The whole movie.
Her hair's been wet since 1974.
Oh man. So yeah, it goes on for a bit of her just breaking down to the operator, because it keeps going back. It was like this part, and then she's like telling the story, and you think she's talking to somebody, but it's actually just the operator. Like, who are you trying to get a hold of? Oh, sorry, you have the wrong number. And she's like, oh, I do. Okay, sorry. I'm like,
yeah, dude. Oh my god, dude. Like, she is fucked mentally, dude.
Honestly, though, what she's gone through, I can understand her.
She at least could have warmed the food up, though.
I can understand her breakdown because she's had a kid. It's 10 years later. She's had a kid that's been in the mental institution for 10 years.
Yeah.
Because he killed somebody, or she thinks. She's been drinking.
A lot.
She doesn't want to be alone because she's been with several. You assume several men, because now she's with her second that you see. She doesn't want to be alone. So here she is. She's going through something. She just wants him there. Can't get him there. She's tried calling. He's not answering. You know,
Yeah.
I get her. I just feel like she went from here to here.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
like
super.
2 seconds, though. Like her breakdown didn't escalate. It
No.
just went.
I don't think she was good at all the entire movie. Like
She
she
probably
was
wasn't.
always on the brink of a breakdown.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So Greg and Andrea play tennis, and these two are the ones that Terry plays with like the entire like the most of any of the characters, because you think he's gonna kill him in the room, and then they're playing tennis, and it makes it out like he's gonna kill him there because he like Greg hits the ball over the fence, and Andrea's like, "Hey, let me go get the tennis ball."
Yeah,
I'm like, Jesus Christ.
100% happens.
Oh
Goddamn.
my gosh.
That's why she wasn't naked during all
Did you
of
see her
this.
run away? I was like, do you know how to run? Is that even running?
No.
What the fuck was that?
I actually really like this scene because she runs away, and then like Greg like falls over.
He
like,
just
"Oh, I
lays
shouldn't have
down.
had
He's
that
like,
tequila. Yeah, too much tequila, and then the ball comes from like the complete opposite direction.
Yeah. And she's like,
And
oh,
then
I couldn't find the ball. And he's like, oh, it's right here.
And then it cuts like, oh, and then they run off, and then it shows Terry holding the ball.
Well,
that
it
she
showed
lost
Terry holding
initially.
the ball before. It was like
Okay, so
when he hits it over, you can see Terry like doing it. Yeah. But you see the
That sounds like
shadow
cool
go up to Greg,
manipulation.
and you think it's Terry about to kill him.
Yeah.
But it's actually just Andrea, and they're like, hey, well, they want to go get busy, and she's like, I know a place, and so they go off.
I just thought it was. I thought it was a cool scene. I like how it was played out. Like it was with the ball coming in from the opposite direction and shit like that. I was like, all right.
Mhm.
And it wasn't like he threw it over the fence. He
No, he
had
just
to have been
rolled it.
standing inside the fence.
Yeah.
Standing in the shadows.
Yep.
Phases through it.
Yeah.
Phases back out.
So,
T1000.
Mom is continuing to lose her mind. We see this is when we see Andrea and Greg having sex on a diving board, because that's a comfortable spot to do it.
We had this whole conversation. Every diving board I've ever been on has never been smooth.
No, there's like
They're
they've
rough.
Got, like it's almost like
Yeah, because they don't want
board
people to
tape
slip
or
off them.
skateboard.
You're supposed to have a good
It's like
grip
sandpaper.
with your feet. Yeah.
I wouldn't want my ass on a diving board like that.
No. So he kills them. He slices Greg. He falls into the pool, and then he I think he just ends up stabbing Andrea.
He slices
he hits
Oh,
her
Greg,
face.
He slices
He-
her like across the eyes, doesn't
but
he?
he slices Greg's neck and he pushes him in the pool.
Yeah, he hits
Mhm.
her in the face,
And
and she falls
then-
back, and then he says, "Oh, Greg, you've been a bad kid," or Greg and Andrew, you've been a bad kids, or whatever. And then you hear like an off screen her making noise, and then it's just silent.
Well, the first thing he says before he even kills him, he's like, "Stop that!"
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
"Oh." So this is
Been
when,
watching people have sex. You know,
fucking prude.
been doing that since he was 10.
yeah.
Come
I'm
on.
getting sick of people fucking my mom, so nobody can fuck each other.
Well, that's the thing is, I don't think Terry killed anyone in the 10 years between him killing the person at the drive-in and now. I think this
I don't
is
think
it.
so either.
I think just knowing that Todd was out, he just kind of like loses it and just gets that urge again.
I have a thought at the end of this movie. I will tell you
It's
my
good.
theory.
So we find out Artie, he has a big crush on Karen. Like he
Yeah.
definitely makes it known, but she's like, can you talk to Terry for me? Because I don't know what's going on with him. He's like flirting with the neighbor and doing weird things. I don't know. He just doesn't act like I'm there.
She just doesn't like him that way, and unfortunately, he does like her that way. But just it's how it goes.
Yep. And this is when Todd and Terry come face to face with each other for the first time in 10 years. And Todd has a gun to him, but he can't pull the trigger, and then he just ends up running away. And then
Terry's completely unfazed by it.
Yeah, and then Terry and Terry and Artie go chase after him. And then this is when they're on the like catwalk, and Artie finds all the tools and all like the weapons. And he's like, what?
Just covered
This is
up.
weird. And Terry picks up
It's just
the
weird.
carving fork, and he's like, "Oh, that's odd." And he's like, and that's when Artie picks up the machete and he goes, and we get that line again. Terry's like, that's not cranberry sauce, Artie. That's not cranberry sauce. And then just stabs him in the neck with the
dude, it's good.
with the carving fork.
I asked Angela if she thought she'd see somebody killed with a carving fork in this movie. So
it's fantastic. The gore effects in the kills in this movie are awesome.
It feels like an early 80s movie before the MPAA went on there and started censoring everything.
I like that they used that though.
Oh yeah, it was cool as fuck.
Because it's
Thanksgiving.
It's on brand for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, absolutely.
We then see Terry just pop back up into the frame again and says the same line. He goes, "That's not cranberry sauce, Artie. That's not cranberry sauce, Artie." And I was like, was that on purpose? Or did they have two different takes and they just ended up using both of them?
I feel like it's just like goes along with the whole mental degradation
like he's just,
theme that's going on in this movie.
Like he has some sort of internal voice he's talking to.
Mm-hmm.
This is when Karen runs into Terry, not knowing that Terry is the one killing people, and she's like, "Oh my God, there's things are happening, blah blah blah," and he's like, "Yeah, it's Todd. He's killing everybody at the complex." That's no joke how he reads the line. It's hilarious.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But it also shows the fact that like Terry just doesn't he doesn't care anymore that people know who he is. No. And so he's not going to be, oh my God, really? No, he literally every time he would hear about something, he was just like, "Oh yeah, we should do something about that."
The closest we got to him like selling it is when he was fucking with Artie and Karen earlier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, sorry about being a dick to you earlier."
But then he grabs
her ankle.
Face by the ankles. He's like, "It's just me."
Yeah, and he's like, "Well, sorry about being a dick earlier." And they play it off like buddies. Like it feels more natural. Like which I hated seeing Artie die because I liked him.
Yeah, he
was in the movie a lot, but
and then you see like Karen and Terry, they kind of like make up like, "Oh, we should," and they're about to get busy. They're about to go do it. I guess they had to take every cushion off that couch though before they.
I thought he was going to pull a knife out of his. I'm like, why is he reaching in his pants?
Don't worry, Karen. I'll dick you down properly.
Like
he's literally throwing every cushion off this couch while they're like making out.
But first, they must arrange the cushions.
Like, is he trying to turn it into a bed? Like, is this a pull-out couch? Like, is he like?
What's happening here? I'm so confused. This is when he raises the machete and goes, "I love you, Karen," and then swipes at her and she runs away. And he's like, "Didn't you hear me, Karen? I said I love you."
Wait,
wasn't that? No, wasn't that? Is it
something
Todd at the door,
happens? Somebody rings the doorbell or knocks or something because she's on the couch by herself.
No. So we went a little bit out of order. So like that scene is when Terry and Todd come face to face for the first time. Because I think it was Todd, because Todd jumps into the back of
Artie's
car,
convertible,
confronts him, and then they kind of walk to Terry's house or to whatever house they were at. Rings the doorbell. Terry answers. They go face to face. Yeah, I just forgot to talk about the weird cushions.
Because I was like, cushions.
Yeah,
they're outside.
Yeah, and then we have Artie getting killed, and so now
and then Todd or Terry just doesn't give a fuck. He's like, "I'm just gonna kill you, but I love you."
Just like, "Did you hear me, Karen? I said I love you."
Because he was like trying to walk away, and he turns around and like slices at her. I was like, "Well, shit, she gonna go out now?" Like, wait a minute.
So she hides in the closet, like an outdoor closet, and that's where Jackie's body is hanging.
Because Terry knows that she's in there, and he's like, "I'm gonna open it," and he's like, "I got a better idea," and then just walks away.
Yeah,
it looks like there's showers and stuff in there, like it's
probably like a pool shower or something like that. Like
yeah, like that's what I was assuming.
Yeah,
because isn't this where she brought the baby in?
No, that's next. That's later.
That's a different spot.
So
this is outside of one of the actual units. Apartments or units. Yeah,
on their patio, like their sliding glass door patio is that door that's just to the side.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she hides in there. Yeah, and Jackie's body's in there, and then she comes out because she's scared that he's in there, and she pops out, and that's when Terry is using Artie's arms to clap.
Yeah.
as a mannequin. I was like, dude, this guy's fucked. This is like his best buddy, or essentially, and he's just like, who cares? Does not value human life.
He gaslights every single person that he is with. He makes them think that all of this is their doing.
Yep. So she goes into Julie's house, and that's when, and somehow Terry made it there before she did, because he's already in there with the pulling the machete out of Julie.
Which is cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yes.
She goes into
the actress's head is there, and it's like a fake body. And
yeah,
pulling it out. It's fucking sweet.
So she goes into the bedroom to call the police, and this is when like she's on the ground and just shows Terry's like lower body like walking towards her, and he's just like, the baby's crying, and I was like, oh no!
You see the machete that he's holding.
Yeah, it's all
come
bloody.
into frame, and I'm like, this is.
And then he's like, he says like, oh, Karen, I just want to talk to you. Let's talk about it.
Like,
and she
he thumps him in the dick.
Oh, she gets him good with the phone. Yeah,
thumps him in the dick proper. And the actor does a good job selling it, because he kind of like waddles up,
holding himself.
Well, it was great because it wasn't just like, he like was. He's like, Karen, that hurt.
And even a cut
bit me.
Fuck. Even when she grabs the baby and runs out, and like it cuts to Terry walking out, and it cuts to him leaving the front door, and he like adjusts himself a little bit even then and keeps going. So they kept with it a little bit.
He knows how it feels.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah, it hurts, man.
And on her way out, she snags the baby and runs off.
Which she's the only one that cares about that damn baby.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
She checked on it when she first got there. Put the pacifier back in its mouth. Got it to stop crying.
Shut up! Shut the fuck up, baby. Here's some
and then did her thing.
So Maddie is in the kitchen again, and she notices she's like throwing stuff away, and then she notices Terry's bloody shirt, and she's like, "Oh shit, something's wrong." So she immediately goes to find Brad, and it takes her way too long to figure out that Brad's dead. She goes into his unit there, and there's blood all over the walls. His whole desk is probably covered in blood, and he's like propped up with his nub.
Dude, I will say that because Brad's still listening to the Christian radio, the 24/7 Christian radio, and a lot of what he's talking about is very significant to the plot of what's going on, which I thought was kind of a nice touch about deceiving mothers or something like that, and all this shit. And I was like, oh, okay, that seems kind of relevant to what's happening right now.
No, I didn't even pick that up.
Yeah, if you ever get bored, go back and like pay attention to what they're saying. We actually had whenever we watch, of course, we usually have subtitles on, so like you could hear the guy, and she's just standing there realizing something's wrong, and then touch them. And it's like there's a lot of relevant. Not all of it's spot on, but it's relevant. I feel.
Listen, when they were making out in the room in the very beginning, it showed in the subtitles when Terry's peeking in the door. It pans back to them kissing, and it shows in the subtitles that the door closed. I'm like, how the hell did they not hear it? I heard it. I saw the subtitles. How did they not hear the door shut?
Terry leaves, shuts the door, and 5 seconds later it cuts to them and it says door shuts, and you hear it. I was like, but anyway, maybe it just jumped back 5 seconds.
But
anyway,
whatever.
Not important. Keep going. Sorry, this is a cool scene.
I was more concerned that she had not seen the blood everywhere.
Oh shit. Well, this lady's seeing what she wants to see half the fucking time.
Well, I mean, at this point, she probably isn't seeing much of anything other than the back of his head. She has tunnel vision.
She's also, I think it also plays into her mental state with how long she reacts to this, because she literally stands there like this. Felt like forever.
Yep. She's like, help me.
She notices, and then, of course, she touches him, and then his like head just splits in half, and you're like, "Holy
like, clean!" Shit. I was like, "No, he must have just fucking bloop, like right down the."
That was such a good sound effect too.
It was a good effect too. It's probably
it sold it
between Brad and the doctor.
Yeah.
That had to be the best kills in the fucking movie, dude.
It was wild stuff. So Terry, man, this dude is a funny dude. I just love the fact like he Karen and the baby run to the pool house and Terry just sneaks in and is just jumping on the diving board behind her. And I just love when she finally realizes it's him. She's like, it's not even the fact like, fuck, he's here. She's like, oh God, and just gets up and runs away.
And I said again, I'm like, how the hell did he get there before her?
Slasher teleportation powers.
Yeah, once you become a slasher, once you become like the main slasher of any type of movie, you get teleportation powers. It's like in the contract.
I mean,
dude, I will say, Angel can attest. Like when he's jumping on, I seen him come up the diving board and see the diving board and go on jumping. Like I audibly, like when she's like, "Oh God," I laughed out loud.
It's
like,
so
I thought it was
funny,
fucking hilarious.
Because her reaction is not like, "Oh shit!" It's like, "Oh God."
Yeah,
I thought he was gonna dive in. To be honest, I thought he was gonna like dive in.
He was too.
I mean, he's back there playing around, like he's gonna, jump in the pool, and she's just like, "Shit."
But
this is not supposed to happen this way.
Yeah, she runs into the bathroom and
Karen, you're no fun.
Yeah. Oh, this is so great. So she hides the baby under the sink, and then she's trying to find a place to hide, and she hides in one of the stalls. And Terry's going through like looking around, and I love when he opens the sauna. He's like, "Are you guys still in there?" And he opens it up, and he's like, "Oh, you guys will do it anyway."
Sorry to bother you. Sorry to interrupt.
He like shuts the door and he's like,
"Yeah,
guys, do it anyway." He goes, he takes a piss.
Yeah,
mid chase, like,
when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Drain the lizard. Yeah, it's true.
And she thinks he's gone. She goes down, and he pops out from around the corner. You think he's
a baby.
The baby cried, right? Yeah, and he gets her in the shoulder
the whole time.
Yeah,
she goes out, and Todd shows up, and they have a little tussle. And Terry gets the upper hand, swims to the other side of the pool. Karen pulls Todd out of the pool, and then Mommy shows up.
Well, actually, this is relevant to what you were talking about. This is the thing you want to talk about.
So the noise that the gun makes when she pulls the trigger twice is the same exact sound that pop guns make when you do not have the stuff in them. It's that plasticky sound. It was not. I've heard revolvers dry fire. It was so plastic. I was like, that's a fake gun. I don't even think he had a real gun to begin with. Like, I don't know if whoever he got it from had a real gun.
Because it was from the lady.
It was the doctor
in the river purse. Yes. So it's definitely. I think it was. It may have been the prop that they used, because obviously it looked like a toy gun. I believe it was supposed to be a real gun. That was the intent. I don't know, but I'm not an expert in this, but I will tell you, do not ever take a weapon along with you and have no ammo in it and assume if I pull this out, some perpetrator is going to stop doing stuff.
But
don't do that.
70s.
I know. I'm just saying it's a fucking horrible idea.
And he was also, he also was put in this mental institution when he was 10 years old. He only had the toy gun.
Well, but he didn't shoot it anyway.
No.
Because Karen took it from, it's like, fuck it, I'll shoot you.
Yeah.
And she pulls the trigger twice and nothing happens.
But he wouldn't have known if it was real or fake.
Yeah, don't just.
So, could the doctor have had it as a defense item? Like, hey, I have this gun. You don't know if it's real or not.
Well, see, that's the thing. Is like it could be the case, but I'm just gonna say, just in my opinion, don't ever do that in real life. If you carry a weapon, if you have to produce it, you need to follow through. If your idea is to pull, don't be like, if I pull it, I don't scare somebody. But no, it's a horrible fucking idea. Don't take my advice for personally, but that's my opinion. Don't ever do it, because the moment you pull that out, you escalate a situation. It's not about gun shit. That's just something about this movie that stood out to me as a gun owner and all that stuff. Don't ever do that.
I'm just gonna pistol whip him.
But yeah, but you do that. But once the moment you produce it, you escalate the situation. So it's just like, you better pull it out with the intent of fucking using it if you do. Well, she did. Karen was gonna plug his ass. So but Todd, like you said, Todd, even like Terry, they're fucking kids. They may be adults, but they act like fucking children. So
I was watching a TikTok of a simulation of how fast can you draw your weapon.
Yeah.
If somebody were to. It was a knife against a pistol, and I was like, well, the knife guy's not gonna win in this.
Create distance is what you fucking do.
But they were like literally knife, pistol. Like, dude's done.
Well, if you do, you need to fire like immediately. You need to like control close to body. But anyway, this is not.
It was
it
was tactical.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree. But anyway, Parker, go ahead. This
Anyways.
is going deep. But no, she's not wrong. She's not fucking wrong. So
Oh no,
it
you
could
could
have easily been a toy prop.
Probably.
So,
I mean,
It's
listen, this
just the
movie
way
probably
it
cost nothing
sounded.
to make.
I mean, the effects were cool though.
I'm
for
like,
not
if you're
costing
gonna
it.
have that sound though, make it sound real. Like, do it post, make it sound real.
The next revolver sounds real.
Well,
Go
yeah.
ahead,
well,
Parker.
yeah.
Mom shows up.
So yeah, mom shows up.
Takes care of the situation.
She kills Terry, shoots him a few times. He falls into the pool.
5 times.
And Karen just walks off. Originally, I was like,
shoots
she
him
just
in the
leaves.
eyeball.
Yeah, she shoots him in the eye. Yeah.
She
And then
goes gets the baby, doesn't she?
yeah,
Yes.
I forgot that's what she was gonna do. She just walks.
You should have just fucking left.
Dude, grab
And
the baby and run. Like,
boy,
sit there and watch.
this interaction between Todd and Mommy, ooh, she is rubbing him and like, I just want you, baby. It's just gonna be me and you. There's nobody else. I don't want anyone else. I was like, yikes, Mom.
You're my whole world.
It's
I
just me
felt
and you again.
so
Holy shit.
uncomfortable.
So, like, I don't want to know what Terry had. Like, I know Todd was locked away in a mental institute. I don't know what depravity Terry had to go through between her getting another man
Yeah.
and this shit since there was a kid.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
something.
This whole scene was so uncomfortable.
And of course, she's like, "It's okay, Terry. It's just gonna be us." And he's like, "I'm Todd," and she's like, "No, it can't be." And then we literally for 2 minutes straight, it's just, "I'm Todd," and even the mom is doing it. She's like, "I'm Todd."
She's just broken completely.
She
at
is
this point.
completely
She's done.
broken to the point that she picks up the gun and uses it on herself.
And then Karen and the baby leave like
yep,
they should.
Yep.
Should have
And
left
then
5 minutes ago.
And then we get a freeze frame of Todd as he turns around to react to his mom being
And the
dead.
sirens.
And the
And the
sirens.
cops showing up.
Yep.
I honestly assumed that when she picked the gun up the first time, that's what she was doing. Because she picks it up and she turns it toward herself.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
is she going to take herself out now?
With Brad and his. Because she says, I'm going to make things right.
Yes. Yeah. It does. It kind of gives you that indication like, oh, maybe is she going to take herself out now? But nope, she does it later.
Oh, I was going to say, this is the revolver I joked about. Brad's revolver, about the revolver that neglects to count.
Yeah.
Because she shoots Terry 5 times, not knowing it's Terry because he had changed his shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they had both fallen in the pool, so their hair was fucked up. So she didn't really know what Todd was wearing, didn't know what Terry was wearing, right? And if you look really close at what she's firing, it's a 5-shot cylinder. She fires 5 times at Terry and then has another shot out of nowhere. I know can't pay attention to that. Obviously, I can tell by looking at it, by counting the cylinders on one side.
Ammunition in her robe.
I'm sure she did. But that's just a little minor nitpick. But that's it. That's all I got. It was just a real minor flub.
Fun final fact about this movie is that the director, John Greismer, almost quit the movie at one point, and they had to kind of like beg him to come back.
Okay.
Really? What happened?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea?
Him and Louise Lasser, who plays Maddie, the mom, they didn't like each other because they didn't get along much on the set, so he quit in the middle of the shoot. But they were able to get him back to finish it.
That's good, at least.
Yeah.
I hate that for all parties involved, but.
And another thing is there's a podcast called Watch If You Dare that reviews this movie every year on Thanksgiving.
Hey, never heard of them, but go check them out.
I guess in 2001 they did the episode, but they named it Slasher to confuse the audience, to confuse their listeners into thinking they were covering something different, but not knowing that Slasher was the alternate title to this movie. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to check that out. I should check that podcast out, and I want to check out their Blood Rage yearly episode. I guess that's pretty cool.
That's smart.
How do you, I want to listen to a couple of them just to see what they do differently. Do they just do the same review over and over again? Like that's pretty funny.
Replay it.
I mean,
over and over.
times change. Your opinions on
That is
movies
very
reflect,
true. That is very true.
and you
That's-
learn new stuff.
That is definitely
As we
why I would
told-
love
Yeah.
to go back and revisit some movies that we've done in the past. That
Yes.
need a new set of eyes, you know.
Yeah, like the whole Resident Evil series.
Well, that was Blood Rage from 1987. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun to talk
Yes.
about a we don't talk a lot about like B movies much on the show, and I definitely want to do more in 2024. And after talking about this movie, I'm definitely excited to cover more. But now it is time to discuss our thoughts on the movie. So, Dan, why don't you start us off? What did you think of Blood Rage?
Okay, so I am glad we covered this. Like, I'm really glad, and I'm going to thank Joe, Sean, and Connor, who used to be on the show at the time that I covered I listened to the podcast because they did this like 3 years ago, and a great hit. Like it is super. Like it's obscure. I don't know what the production value was, like, or how much the budget was of it, or in promotions. It felt like an early 80s movies. Like Angela and I not long ago watched The Burning. And it just felt like that kind of movie, like before the
100%.
EPA got dick wild and just censoring everything because they're a bunch of fucking cowards. But anyway, of course the acting's not great, but the dude that I don't remember his name right now, but who played Terry and Todd, I like Soper. I like the dynamic between them. The mom character was good. Most of the rest of the characters were fine. None of them really like egregiously shitty to me, as far as like acting and everything, but I enjoyed watching it. The kills were cool. Sure, like you could have changed the film and not determined which child killed who at the beginning, or which child killed the guy at the beginning of the movie to add that suspense. But I think it would have made more of a suspense thriller as opposed to a slasher movie, and that could have been a fun movie too. But I like how they handled it. Like we knew, but nobody else knew, and of course there was some comedic value to it. And and whether intentional or not, I think it's all in all, I think it's a really fun B movie with had some banging fucking music too.
Oh
I really like the music,
80s synth.
but it wasn't just like, I know it's kind of like the generic 80s synth, but it was catchy to me because sometimes you'll hear music and it's just like whatever, it's background music. It sounded good. But yeah, like the writing wasn't crazy. Some of the acting again was hammy, but it was fun, and I think it's a nice like Thanksgiving like slasher horror movie because I mean, there's not a lot of them that I can think of, but I want to say one thing is I think regardless, I mentioned Terry and Todd about them being like children, but I like especially like I just think that's just how her mom just didn't want to escape them being kids, and they were both raised that way regardless. Like Todd was stuck in the mental institution and just was never exposed to reality for like 10 years or how life is for 10 years. And then Terry was just, like you said, he wouldn't drink alcohol. He'd only drink juice or whatever. He was literally just a kid.
Inhibited by.
Yes. And it may not even been the inhibited. He was just raised as a child because his mom only ever saw him as a child and never experienced it. Like, didn't want him to grow up because she was stuck in that moment in 1974 and refused to escape it.
Yep.
And I think the reason that Terry went ballistic at the end and like not giving a fuck, and it was outside of just comical and ridiculous at times, but it was cool, was I honestly have expected him just shoot somebody and yell "garbage day," like 'cause that's what it felt like, the levels of lunacy.
Garbage day,
but not in a bad way or nothing. But like, I think his plan was like, listen, he went, went into recession for 10 years since his brother did it.
Yeah.
I figured he's like, okay, my brother's loose. I'm just gonna go buck ass wild, kill as many people as I fucking want to, whether they're involved or not, and I'm just gonna blame it on Todd, and then I'll get off scot-free, just like he did before. Because he's a kid.
Yep.
So he thinks I'll just blame it on Todd. I'll be all right. It's fine. I can do whatever the fuck I want, kill who I want. Doesn't matter. And that's why he doesn't value anything. Because I think, again, how his mom raised him, he's just a self-centered, child that just doesn't value nothing. Because he's like, well, fuck, I murdered somebody before because whatever led up to that point, I could just pin it on Todd and call it good.
Yep.
He was treated as the only child.
Yeah. And I like the open ending. I like how it just cuts. Like once like the sirens come and you get his reaction and just cuts. I'm glad we don't know. I don't want to know. Like I think it'd be cool if somebody remade this movie because these are the kind of movies that need to be remade, like obscure shit that nobody knows about. And but I think they would like add and like try to build onto an ending. And I don't think we don't need to know. The movie just needs to and just be done. But that's it. Yeah, I liked it. By the way, I really enjoyed it. So
I about everything he said, I think it would have been cool if they would have not said names in the beginning and you find out at the end who the killer was. Like, play off that, because you know they're twins. So, kind of play off not knowing who it is. Like, never say their name. Not even the mom say the name. Like, I feel like that would have been kind of cool to find out at the end when she says, oh, Todd's dead, and he's like, I'm Todd. I think that would have been really cool to find out who it was.
Yeah.
In the end. Like, I think that would have been cool, as I think it would have been more suspenseful to find that out. But yeah, kills were great. I love some of the shots, especially the one at the tennis court where you don't see him.
Oh yeah.
Like that was really cool. Like some of the shots that they made were
probably my favorite scene in the movie was the tennis court scene.
Yeah, like a lot of the kills were really cool. Like, you know, who's gonna think of a serving fork to the neck? Like he was just right there. Like, like I was pretty torn in when we watched it, but the more we've talked about it, I'd watch it again.
Oh yeah, I can agree to all
Certainly.
the statements.
But the damn crying from the baby, like,
oh yeah.
I'm one of those people that sound effects in movies really bother me, like if it's good or bad. This crying from the baby got me so mad. I was like, pick it up.
Especially earlier when she's just Andrea by herself before Terry shows up. She's just crying. She's not even doing anything.
Yeah.
She's drinks or whatever she's doing. I'm like, pick the kid up. Do something.
He's like, no,
Like,
I'm just here to watch it. I'm not here to actually do anything with it.
Like, do you not hear the baby crying?
Clearly
Yeah,
not.
that was the only real thing that bothered me, because as a parent, I'm like, I want to soothe the kids crying. Like,
surprisingly, that didn't really get to me this movie, but yes.
Oh,
I totally like as far as like how it usually does, but yeah, I get you.
But I did pick up on several, like some of the sound effects that I had heard, but I do want to watch it again. Watch it for Thanksgiving.
I definitely agree with all of your points. I think this is a fun B movie that just doesn't take itself too serious, but it has some really good themes to it. I think this is a very cool story at its core. And as I agree with Angela in the fact that I wish we got more of a, like, just kept secret. But I also like the fact that just Terry comes out and you just know that it's Terry the whole time. You know it's Terry as soon as he sets his brother up in the beginning. Like, you know that Terry is the wrong person was sent away. But Mark Soper's performance as both Terry and Todd are fantastic, because they do feel like two completely different people. And the fact that Terry is just so unhinged to the point where he just doesn't care anymore that people know he's a killer and he's killing people, and the way he reacts to people's reactions, like, oh my God, he's like, I know, Todd, he's just killing everybody around the complex. I fucking love that line delivery, because it's so, people might look at that and be like, that's just a terrible line delivery. I'm like, to be honest, I don't even know if that was just, I think that's just how he did it, because Terry just doesn't care.
No, I know, that's the best part.
Yeah,
he just does not give a shit.
Yeah, and then you have Todd, who's just like, he doesn't know the world. He's been locked up for 10 years, doesn't know the world. He's like cowering for everything. He has the opportunities to take out his brother, knowing full well who he is and he can't do it, and the fact that like in the end the mom just, to be honest, did she even care about Todd, or she never believed that Todd was innocent? So it's a whole thing. Just everybody's kind of the way they go about things in this movie, like seeing the mom's mental breakdown from just the very beginning. The fact that Dan said like she hasn't been able to escape from that day. Like she has been living in 1974 since that incident, and she has just been stuck there, and she's trying to, her life is about her kids, or at least you think so, but she's also trying to fill in the void by, bringing somebody in. Like she's got Brad now and stuff like that, and getting to see like her spiral to the point where at the end she thought she killed the one she thought was guilty.
So here's a question. Sorry to interrupt, but this just hit me. Do you think this may not have been intentional? Do you think she, like the mom character, wanted a family, but didn't want twins?
Could
wanted
be
a kid, and like the other one's just expendable. Like if I get rid of it, it's fine. It'll have what I want. Right. My kid, me, husband. And then I know
it would be easier to take care of one as opposed to two.
Yeah, and then and we talked about Terry not giving a shit. The only thing that gets to Terry is if it involves his mother or Todd. That's it.
Yep.
But like I said, he's been a gaslighter since that day, like the day it happened.
And we don't even know what happened before to make him be that way, which is great. This is like Halloween, the original Halloween. You don't know why he is the way he is. He's just fucked up.
Yep. But yeah, this is definitely a movie I'm gonna probably watch now every year before Thanksgiving, because it just feels like that perfect movie. And I know that a lot of people have already been doing that for a long time, but it's definitely on my list now. This is definitely one I'm going to rewatch. This would be a great one to do like a commentary track on or something, or do a watch along, because it's so fun. It's such a fun, goofy movie.
That and the Giant Claw.
Yep.
It's about a big bird.
Now it's time to go over to the social medias and read your comments. As you know, every week on all the social medias that we are on, we ask for your thoughts on the movies we are covering, and we pretty much only got responses over on X/Twitter, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Our first one is from @2BTuesday, or Brad, who we've had on the show for our League of Extraordinary Gentlemen episode. He says, I'm hosting a screening on it soon. So that's cool.
Dude.
It probably already happened by the time you listen to this, but that's awesome.
That's dope.
This movie needs to be shown to more people. The next one is from @Let's Talk Horror, who says, I really like this movie. I think it's an unseen gem. Couldn't agree more. Epic Film Guys commented both on Twitter and on Instagram, but they're the same comment, so I'm just going to read the one he left here. He just said, one of the best. Dustin from the Baron's Hideout podcast says, a must-watch every year. 80s cheese at its finest. Get Me Another Pod says, a Thanksgiving classic. Couldn't agree more. @YNF Movie Pod, or your next favorite movie pod, who says, love it. I've done an episode on it myself, and I'll be recording an episode with @Film Effect Pod next weekend. A lot of other content there for Blood Rage, so go check out your next favorite movie and Film Effect Pod.
Yeah, hope you guys have fun.
Yes.
Or had fun.
We have @Movie Dumpster. I think we've heard of them. Say it rules so hard.
I don't think I've heard of them.
We haven't mentioned them at all this episode, right?
Never.
Yeah.
Listen, they said. So Dan said that I'm hoping it will be. You guys have the reason I suggested it for this episode, and they said it's one of the best slashers. I said it better be.
And I really wanted to go. What if it wasn't?
Yeah,
you said it better be. I was like, whoa.
Come on, Joe and Sean, step that shit up.
Listen, I have heard of movies that people are like, oh, you need to watch this. This is the best movie. And I watch it and I'm like, what the fuck were you thinking?
People have
set your expectations.
The Giant Claw. Like, I'm like,
I just say, hey, you should check this out. I would never I don't. It's the best. Like, it's everybody has their own opinions.
Keep your expectations low.
Yeah. They weren't wrong. Saying.
Our last comment is from Miami Fox Streaming. I guess it's a streaming service. Who just says it's coming to their service Thanksgiving. Yeah, Blood Rage.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody who left a comment. We appreciate you very much. Make sure to follow us over on Instagram, Twitter /X, Facebook, Threads at Dissect That Film, and make sure to ring the little bell to let you know when we comment, because we comment usually it's a day or two before we're going to record, and then leave your comment. If you've seen the movie and you want to leave a comment and when you want it read on the show, just drop that. Or you can email us at dissectthatfilm@gmail.com. You can send us comments on movies we're covering, suggestions on movies that you want to see us cover, all that fun stuff. All right, well, that's it for Blood Rage. Next week, we're hopping back onto the Conjuring universe train one last time, at least for now, as we're going to be talking about the brand new 2023 The Nun 2, which is now streaming on Max. That is the reason we're covering it, because we told you we were going to do it, and why not before the end of this year, before we get into Christmas time. We might as well get it out of the way, and I'm actually really pretty excited to check it out. I've heard good and bad things about it, but if you want to listen to our The Nun episode, that is out right now, and you can get our thoughts on what we thought about that one before we talk about our thoughts on the second one. It's going to be a good time. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
And then, it's Christmas time, and we got our Christmas favorites coming up, so stay tuned for all that fun stuff. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/dissectthatfilm, where we have 3 tiers with some pretty fun stuff. At the $1 tier, whenever I'm able to, I try to release episodes a few days early. I'm just going to say that now because that's usually how it goes. But it's usually, we just appreciate your support, dropping that $1, giving us, helping us out, pay for some stuff. And when we get some fun content, we like to give it to you guys. We have a $3 tier, which will be the new home of our Monster Zone series, which is a show run by Dan and Angela, where we spin a wheel covering monster movies twice a month. And it's kind of like this show, but Dan and Angela host it. And
it's much worse.
They run through the plots where I just sit there and I go, yeah, that part. Yeah.
Listen, Linda, you're not allowed to promote this. Me.
And then we have our $5 tier, which will be future commentary tracks, watch along, stuff like that. That'll probably be coming out for 2024, and we'll have some more content there. But that is our Patreon. Make sure to go, if you can support us, we greatly appreciate it. You don't have to. All we ask is that you go over to your favorite podcast app and you leave us a rating and a review, please. It is free, and it really helps our show. It really helps us get into more people's ears. Make sure to go over to the YouTube channel, like, comment, and subscribe to the video. We're not saying you have to watch it. Just go over there. It is free. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like on the video. Even if you got to turn it on and just walk away and let it play, please help us. We're trying to get our watch hours up so we can get the channel monetized. Maybe get a little bit extra over there on the YouTubes. We greatly appreciate all your support.
Yes.
You mean a lot to us, and you're the reason we keep going with this. So thank you very much. So yes, next week is The Nun 2, and then Christmas time, and I'm very excited. But we are done for today. All of our links are down in the description, of course. And you guys good? Got anything else to say?
I think so. No.
All right.
Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Eat
Yes.
all that good food.
Hopefully you had a great Thanksgiving, and be safe here on Black Friday. If you're listening to us while you're shopping, that's cool. Just be safe. Don't let anybody hurt you. Fight them off.
In 20 years, it won't be called Thanksgiving anymore, just so you all know. They'll change the name of it.
And make sure if something does happen while you're shopping and you look down and you see some red on you, just know that's not cranberry sauce. That's not cranberry sauce. All right, until next time, I am Brett Parker. That is Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming. We are Dissect That Film, and this has been the Dissect That Film podcast, episode 134. We'll see y'all again next time. Gobble, gobble, everybody.